Hello and welcome to episode 1481 of The Sleeper and the Bus. It is Friday, February 27th. I'm your host, Paul Sporer, joined this morning by Justin Mason. Justin, it's almost March, dude. We made it. We really made it fast.
I was just saying I need to slow down. Like I'm so far behind. Like I need to
do
slow
too,
down.
guys. And I know, it looks bad on us always saying, let's get to the spring, let's get through winter, especially me because I hate the cold weather. And now we're here and I'm like, whoa, slow down, slow down. Slow down. I cannot believe that it is March in 2 days, but we are obviously very much in the thick of it. We're going to finish up outfield today. We will kick off March with pitching and obviously have several episodes there. We still have a ton of outfielders to cover, so I want to get into it. We've got 4 more categories. Well, 3.5. One's like really small. And then the gigantic one that we have is going to be a lightning round. We're just going to go through, bang, bang, find some of the ones you like, I like, and get through it. But we're going to start with a few more power bats from carrying over from yesterday, and then some volume plays. Guys that they don't necessarily have one of these kitschy little categories. I mean, I could have put them in one, but I ended up grouping them together as guys who have starting jobs. They're going to play a ton, and are you interested type of vibe. But let's start with these power bats. We got Wilyer Abreu, Jorge Soler, Tyler O'Neill, Jac Caglianone, Owen Caissie, Trent Grisham, and Trevor Larnach. We're not going to hit all of them, but I want to start at the top with Wilyer Abreu, someone I want to dive in on a bit more because I think he could definitely be the best of this bunch by a good bit. And to that end, he's far and away the most expensive. He's picked 230. The next closest is Soler at 360. So, we're talking a huge jump here. But 22 homers, 69 ribs, which was nice, 6 steals, and 53 runs in just 15 games for Abreu last year with great defense, which locks in his playing time, at least versus righties. I don't think he'll get platooned, but with all their talent, who knows? I guess the key now is, can Abreu add to this? We've seen 2 pretty good seasons, but they've both been partial, right, Justin? 447 and 417 plate appearances for Wilyer. Are we going to get the full season coming yet?
I don't know. That's a really tough question with Abreu. Are we going to see him stay healthy? And then is there going to be any sort of platoon situation with him, especially considering all the just bats they have on this team?
Right. Although the best ones that could platoon, they're not going to make Christian Campbell just a short side platoon. He's going to go back down.
Yeah, that's true.
So it is going to be more guys like is Romy Gonzalez still on the team?
It actually benefits.
He got hurt. Never mind.
He's hurt. Yeah. It actually, it really benefits him that they still have Yoshida on this roster, right? Because Yoshida is a lefty. He's not going to obviously platoon with a lefty.
And he's the only bench outfielder right now. I know IKF can play literally anywhere, but we only list him as an infield backup right now. So I don't know. Maybe
they have Duran at.
Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting that. Duran at DH. So that's obviously a premier outfielder at DH. So there's maneuverability, but that's another lefty. Roman Anthony, another lefty. So I don't think Abreu, I think if he's healthy, he plays every day.
Yeah, I think it just comes down to health.
Yep.
And, we look at the StatCast page and it's not blood red, but it's, fairly red.
There's a lot of red on there. Pop into the far end of it too.
Yeah.
Some of the ones that he's got are big red, we should say.
I'm interested to see if he continues the trend of trying to put the ball in the air, because I do wonder if that is a little bit of a mistake, how much he's putting the ball in the air. When he first came to the majors in 2023, Abreu had a 38% fly ball percentage. In 2024, it was 47, and last year it was 53. And you start to get, I'm trying to remember who the player was, but there was a player a while ago who was all he'd put the ball in the air so much that eventually he kept getting under it, and I do worry a little bit about that. Because for a guy who puts the ball in the air so much, his launch angle sweet spot is 19th percentile, which worries me that we're going to start seeing a lot more of these. If this trend continues, we're going to see a lot of these balls go to the warning track and just die.
Yep.
So that being said, they're really good contact skills. He does hit the ball hard. And he's got the regular playing time, right? You said he's a really great defender. True. Makes really good in-zone contact. true. Does not swing outside of the zone too much. Like swing strike rate's 11%. Like there's a lot here to like, as long as he can kind of rein back a little bit of that launch angle and, you know, make it more of like a 17 degree as opposed to the 23 we saw last year.
So when we're talking about somebody like Wilyer Abreu and his great defense, I wonder, do you think that hurts him at all in that with the injuries, like playing all out, right? And I don't know how he acquired his injuries. He had a few last year, Abreu did, totaling 45 days on the IL, according to the forecaster. I looked up his little blurb earlier. Do you worry about that at all? Because we've seen it before with other guys. Like that's obviously part of Buxton's problem. That was early Harper was an issue like that. There's probably others too that chronically get hurt, and that's probably
George
part
Springer,
of why.
right?
Yeah,
Like,
Springer. I think of like a guy like Bader, who obviously I love. What if that's happening to him? So do you factor that in at all? Can you factor that in at all? Or do you just got to take the talent and say, I'm sorry, he's a great defender. Wilyer Abreu's putting himself at more risk, and I just have to eat the risk?
Yeah, I think you just have to eat the risk. Like it's just, you know, like the TJ Friedl is like a really good example of this too, right? Like dude just all
Remember the 1 year? I'm sorry, I cut you off immediately.
Yeah.
Start talking. But like when I sent you like 4 different times that he was dead.
Yeah, like he just kept running into walls and stuff like that. Like, and you just got to factor it in. Like, I wouldn't, in spite of the fact that I know he's going to play more this season, you know, like the Red Sox have publicly said, like, he's going to play against lefties more this year. Like, I'm not going to over project Wilyer Abreu.
I think that's fair.
You know, maybe 530 is where I would go with the plate appearances. I don't know how well. Yeah, I don't know how well he's actually going to be able to handle left-handed pitching. Like they say, he's going to get more opportunities, but he still is like, you know, a career 205 hitter versus lefties. Now he did better last year, hit 230, but I want to kind of save a little bit of room for myself in terms of, you know. But this is a guy I would target and like, hey, like there's upside for more, like. You know, I think his range of projections is pretty high.
Yeah.
And if I'm getting a decent price on him, what did you say his ADP was?
193.
Yeah, like that's fine.
Or 230. Sorry. Even
230.
Like 230
for
Wilyer Abreu.
That's fine.
That's fantastic. And then so again, he's the standout here in terms of ADP. Oh, actually, hang on. I did not sort by ADP. He is not the number one guy. I'm an idiot. I did it in all the categories but this one. Jac Caglianone is actually higher. Let me move him up to the next guy here.
Okay.
Because he goes at pick 204. So he's a little bit more expensive. And obviously, you know, he's got some pretty crazy upside too. I don't think it's different than Abreu's. Like Abreu, I think, has the chance to put together a really fun season, like 30, 10, 250. But with Jac Caglianone, people are dreaming on like, you know, 40 plus bombs. He's got that kind of power. Does it materialize this year? Well, I know you don't know for sure, but like, what is his path to making that materialize? They move the fences in, that helps. As much of a free swinger as we thought he might be coming up, 22% K rate is not crazy. 13% swing strike rate is pretty high. But he took, you know, decent strikeout rate for Jac Caglianone, but nothing unlocked. He had a 172 BABIP and thus a 157 average with 7 homers in 62 games. How do we get him unlocked, and are you interested in paying the premium for Jac Caglianone?
I am interested in paying the premium. I think there is just unreal upside in Caglianone. Like it's just, I think he's one of these guys that if he comes in this year and is just like calm and confident because he is a good player. Like last year was just a disaster year, and he got unlucky.
Yep.
You know, 172 BABIP.
That's crazy. Come on.
Like, you know, and if you look under the hood, like the zone contact was 89%. Now, the big problem for him was his approach. He had a 40% O swing.
Swinging.
It's unreal. Like that puts you in like the top 5 of worst O swings. Now, he was not a qualified hitter, so it doesn't like show up when you sort on the list on Fangraphs or anything like that. But I think what were you gonna say?
I was going to ask you, do you think then, because Jac Caglianone has such a crazy O swing, do you think that strikeout rate was kind of fraudulent to the positive at 22%, and that he is still a risk for upper 20s and low 30s with Jac Caglianone, or no?
I do. Like, I think that he has an opportunity for that. I think for me, like, that's one of the things I'm really looking at this spring. Like, how patient is he being in the plate? Does he have a plan when he gets up there? Now, like, he's always kind of like a bigger O-swing guy.
Right. That comes with being a big power guy like him. He is a little bit of a freer swinger.
But, like, it wasn't close to 40%. It was much more like a 30%. You know, he was 34% in AAA last year. And, like, he is just such a good in-zone hitter that I think that there is a really great opportunity for him. And obviously the power is fantastic.
Off the charts.
Now, I also want to point out, like, he had a 4-degree launch angle last year, and he has, and Caglianone has been a guy who's been, you know, a lower fly ball dude. And even with the moving down and in of the fences that is happening in Kansas City, like, if he's not elevating, he's not going to hit home runs. So, like, I think there's another guy that has, like, a really wide range of outcomes.
Definitely.
But the raw skills are so good that the ceiling is so high. Like you said, like, he has, like, legitimate 70, 80 grade power that, like, and I do think Kansas City has no reason not to just let him go.
Oh, 100%. I mean, because they're on the fringes of contention. That division, I love my Tigers, but, like, they're not some unbeatable behemoth. Kansas City, I think, is a live team in that division without a doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, I think that just it's too good. Like, if we're drafting in 2027, I think there is a reasonable outcome where, like, Cags is a second round player, right?
For sure. That is the upside, is that he goes full Nick.
Whereas like Wilyer Abreu, that's not happening. Like, I don't see that as a potential
I'm trying
outcome.
to think.
I could see, like, 5th or 6th, right? Like,
right.
But a second round, like a guy who just hit 40 bombs, I don't see that for Wilyer Abreu. I do see that range of outcomes for Caglianone. So I'm like, for me, I'm pushing him up my board a little bit because of that upside being so high.
It's transcendent power, so I get it. Like, if he's your guy,
I'm really
totally
good contact skills. Like, you know, in spite
for
of
such a power guy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, just for anybody. Like,
right. Sorry, I didn't mean to say, like, in respect. Sorry, I did make it sound like that. I was grading him on a curve. I was saying, like, not only is he a legit, just straight up good contact guy, but then also burgeoning with this insane power for Jac Cags. Let me ask you one quick question about, like, development here. We've seen these power guys come up and be like Cags, where they have a ton of power, but they don't know how to lift yet. And then we've seen other guys, and you were trying to think of somebody earlier that had done this before, where they lived in the air. They had like a 20% ground ball rate, and they just can't get out of the air. Which, when they're young and they're trying to develop, which do you prefer? Which do you think has a better path to figuring it out? The guy who needs to get out of the air a little bit and maybe more line drives, a few more ground balls, or else he's just going to hit 220 with 30 bombs, like Joey Gallo maybe? Or somebody like Cags, who has not quite a Yandy Diaz profile, but that sort of thing where it's like, hey, man, you got the power, you just got to lift, and you can take off. Which do you think has a better trajectory, the uber fly ball young power guy, or the guy we got to teach to lift but mega power?
The uber fly ball guy is, I think, the better. I think it's way harder to elevate if you're not used to doing it. And I also think that, you know, and I do mention this a lot, you know, it's much harder. It's much easier to hit the ball hard when it's on the ground, right?
Absolutely.
And so I think we can get fooled by guys who are like, oh, look at his exit velocity.
We do all the time.
All he's got to do is raise his launch angle. Like, yeah, but, like, how much is he going to give back to when he does, or if he does raise his launch angle? Because we have seen, you know, examples of guys who are like, oh, all he's got to do is raise his launch angle. And when he raises his launch angle, he's like, hey, where'd the power go? Well, it's easier to hit the ball hard on the ground.
O'Neal Cruz.
Yeah, like, it's just like that's what happens. So
no, I think that's totally fair. So it does make it a little hard. Now, I want to say that Jac Cags is not striking me as a Yandy Diaz type. I use that as a very loose comp. I don't think he's on the ground as much as Yandy, and I think he already knows how to be a home run hitter, Jac Cags. He was in college and everything. He's learning how to be a home run hitter in the pros. He hit 20 last year in 66 games in the minors, right? Like, so he knows how to do that. But at the major league level, we do need to see him get a bit more lift going. His ground ball rate went from 44 in the minors yet last year to 50. So that's what we need to watch for with Jac Cags. But you're open to drafting him. You're betting on the upside here, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I think you gotta just bet on the upside and go for it.
It's a good guy to take that shot
I'm
with.
so trying to figure out who this player is. As I was talking about, I want to be.
How recent are they?
I mean, it had to be in the last 10 years, but
Is it Ryan Schimpf?
It is Ryan Schimpf.
Okay, because that was the very first person I thought of, and I'm like, I don't think he's thinking of Ryan Schimpf. And then I'm glad I said it. Yeah, he had like a 20% ground ball rate or something crazy like that. My man had no problem lifting the ball. Literally 20%. I can't remember that. I remember the dumbest things, dude. I cannot remember important things to say in my life, but Ryan Schimpf's ground ball rate, locked.
It was like, okay, so I just brought up his page because, like, yeah. So he, in 2017, he had a 66% fly ball rate. And he also had a 50, on top of that, he had a 15% infield fly ball rate.
Which is free outs. Those are basically strikeouts in terms of.
And then what happened was, like, because his, like, I can't remember, his launch angle was just so high. He had a 29.8 degree launch angle.
So now, looking at Schimpf, this is the downside of that already in the air type of guy that can't quite figure smoothing it up. But he's on the far end too. So I don't want to say that everyone who has a high fly ball rate ends up like this. 64%? That is
66.
Nuts. 66% for a fly ball rate is crazy for Schimpf. But that's a great call out there. We'll keep an eye on Jac Cags. Let's move on to our next guy here. I'm just going to straight up ask you, what's Trent Grisham doing for a repeat, man? 34 bombs, saving people's seasons last year as a complete and utter afterthought. And if you're hearing a little bit of bitterness in my voice, it's because I'm one of the dumbasses who's been drafting him the last 3 years prior to 25. I finally jumped off after 3 dud years in a row. I said, okay, I like my guy, but it's just not happening. And he rips 34 bombs. Now, thankfully, I still had him in one league because even when I quit a guy, I still got to get him somewhere. But it didn't matter. And I'm wondering what we do here. 34 bombs is more than double anything he'd ever, actually literally double his previous career high of 17. And it seemed kind of out of nowhere. I'm reluctant to bet on anything close to a repeat, Justin. Am I wrong? Should I be giving him 25 at least in the projection for Trent Grisham? Sorry.
I think you have to give him 25.
You're probably right. I'm just nervous, man. Okay, that's pretty bloody. Go ahead and explain what you're showing us here on the StatCast.
Yeah, like his StatCast page is pretty rad. Now, like, I don't think he's going to hit 30 plus again. But on top of, like, I think the most interesting thing is, like, for him is, like, you know, he does not chase, right? Like, and he's not a big whiff guy. Like, he actually does a really, really good job of barreling the ball quite a bit.
Yeah, Justin, why do you think I drafted him for 10 years? I know all this.
Well, he was always this guy that, like, I thought he was just going to end up as, like, especially once he got to, you know, the Yankees, like, he's just going to be a platoon guy.
Right, and that was the concern. And I think he was going to be last year, and then the injuries...
He was originally going to just be a bench bat.
Right. And the injuries got him full burn, and he ripped 34 bombs, Trent Grisham did. And so there you go. Now we have this season to deal with. Now, I will say, and I talk about this in the pitcher market a lot, but it's happened across the fantasy market where we've gotten smarter about not overrating these. 10 years ago, there's no way this guy is pick 275, right? He would have been maybe pick 75. I'm probably going too far with it, but he would have been pick top 150, Trent Grisham. 5-10 years ago for sure. Now he's 275. The market knows to be careful with him. Are you going to pay that price? Because he can't hurt you too much, even with a sharp regression. Doing some analysis, I've seen with some of my NFBC teams, you cut about half the team. You know, stickiness over my years.
13 to 17 players on average.
There you go. And I was looking at my players, but I figured it worked globally once I had enough of a sample of my own there. So you're looking at about half turnover. So even if Grisham completely flops on you, 275 is not that crazy of a pick. Now, I'm not diving back in like face first, let me get him everywhere. I'm not afraid to get him, but I also am smart, mindful that this could be a sub-20 homer season.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, I think this is another one of these players who has like a wide range of outcomes because as much as I like Trent Grisham, and I do, there is and it's not even like a wild outcome for Trent Grisham. It's a very reasonable one where he just has like 250 plate appearances, and not because of health, but because the Yankees are so damn stacked. I mean, right now the Yankees do not have a spot on the roster for Jasson Dominguez.
The only thing that favors Grisham, though, is his center field ability, right? Because that stands out. I know Bellinger can play there,
he wasn't
too.
actually good, that good last year defensively.
I understand that, but they don't want to put Judge or Bellinger there permanently, do they?
Well, they can put Bellinger and they can put Jasson in left.
I'm saying I don't think they want Bellinger in center. If they do, then that does put Grisham at risk if he flops.
If Grisham just struggles out the game, and we have seen Grisham struggle in years, right? He had three straight seasons where he hit under 200, right? If he does anything close to that, it will look like 2024 with the Yankees, which was 76 games, 209 plate appearances. Like, and so like that is like the floor for a guy like Grisham is literally just not playing. And there's a lot of guys in this tier that like, hey, yeah, the floor isn't great, but it's not playing. Right?
Makes it
like,
an easy cut, though. I will say,
and that's fair, right? Like, and so like I don't have a problem with it, honestly. Like, everybody in this ADP range has flaws. Like,
you're right. We are all in the flaw territory here. Wilyer is kind of a standout there. He and Cags being 204 and 230 respectively. Cags 204, Abreu 230. They're of the higher guys that we're going to talk about today. Yeah. Most of these guys are 250 and later. Are you compelled? Like, how do you feel about this knowledge I'm about to give you? In the last 4 drafts, small sample, but reacting to more of the recent news of the DCs, Dominguez and Grisham are dead even in ADP, 278 each. And like you said, Dominguez is not only.
What's the time frame there?
4 drafts over the last 10 days. Or excuse me, 7 drafts. Wait. 7 drafts.
Because I've got it sorted by the last 2 weeks of OCs.
It's 7 drafts. I'm sorry. 7 DCs, and they're both pick 272.
Okay. So, like, if you just look at, like, the last 2 weeks of DCs, Trent Grisham's 250 and Dominguez is 299.
Did you say OC or DC?
OC.
Okay, so that's in Fab League there. I can maybe understand having to pay a little bit of a higher premium for Dominguez because you got him for the whole year, and it's a different league in the DC. Who would you take
between Dominguez and him? I would take Grisham. Like as Hale here in the comments says, Dominguez may not make the opening
not currently
roster,
listed,
and I don't think he does.
Because they don't want to play him 3 times a week as opposed to every day.
The other thing Hale's saying is I don't agree with, right? He's saying he got paid. The only way he doesn't play is if he gets injured. It's the Yankees. He's only on a 1-year deal. So like that, I don't think that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he took the qualifying offer.
Yeah, I don't think that is true. That like he's
I think he's locked
playing time.
I think he's a little bit more locked in there than you do, but maybe not all the way because it is a 1 year, and they're not gonna take losing play from him
exactly.
for too long.
Like I think he's locked in to start the season.
Sure. Yep.
But like, yeah, if he starts off his season like 2 for 32 or something like that, like all of a sudden it's like
possible.
Yeah, it's super possible with his profile, right? We've literally seen it before, like we said, for 3 straight seasons. I think there is a rationale to say like, hey, like there's a really good chance that he doesn't play, but I do think that he's at least going to be given the first opportunity. They like him in center field, and like the upside is pretty damn good. Like he shouldn't be going this late.
The defense was down last year and substantially so, but his first negative year in defense too. So
yeah,
I want to see where he's at. Doesn't mean that he's going to automatically get back, but we've seen 1-year blips from solid defenders before with the metrics, so I kind of want to see where he's at there. Last thing on Grisham, does he get the steals back at all? Only 3 for 5 last year. That's pretty bad, and he used to be a double-digit guy pretty consistently, although he was 1 for 2 in 2024. So now he is 4 for his last 7. Do we get any steals back from Grisham? like double digits, let's say?
I think it feels unlikely. I think this is again one of those team decisions where it's like, hey,
Yeah.
we don't want you we don't want you getting out on a base paths.
And they don't
So
really. I mean, they like they let Jazz, Volpe, Dominguez.
I mean, they run a decent amount.
They do, yeah, and they're going to Caballero run.
Yeah, they were 8th in baseball.
So maybe it's a Grisham thing. Maybe scroll down a little bit. Let's see what his speed is. Again, not that it's the only thing to get steals, but it is diminishing. It's 32nd percentile.
Well, and also like, let's be honest. Like, there's a difference. Like, usually being at the top of the lineup means the team wants you to run more. Right. Being at the top of the Yankees lineup means you're hitting in front of Aaron Judge. Do you want to have an out in front of Aaron Judge?
Right there. Yep.
Yeah, like you're going to be jogging around the bases, dude. Like you don't need to take off. So
that's a good point. So don't plan for any of that.
I would say like project like 4 or 5,
yeah.
and then like if he pops off for 10 or 15, you're happy. But I wouldn't project that for sure.
Skipping Jorge Soler, you know what he is. He's playing for the Angels. If you want some cheap, boring power, he can deliver it. He could also play 50 games and be nothing really for you. Trevor Larnach is baby Matt Wallner. I think it's I know it's a little bit of a lazy comp, but it's 2 lefties from Minnesota. If you like one, you probably like the other on some level. I wouldn't roster both. I'd probably do one or the other. But let's move over to Owen Caissie, who I do want to talk a bit more about with the Marlins. You know, the Marlins did some things this year. They're putting together some components of a lineup that is not awful, right? I don't want to go too far praising it. It is still not amazing. You know, I dogged out Stowers. Literally, the episode yesterday was Paul Sporer hates Kyle Stowers because I wouldn't stop dogging him out for his ADP. But obviously, he was a key piece of that lineup. Agustin Ramirez broke out. Now they get Caissie and the Edward Cabrera deal, and he's another piece that could really kind of lengthen this lineup a bit. But he is one of these free swingers, too, that we could see have some strikeout issues. He had a tiny sample in the majors, and he did strike out 41% of the time, 27 plate appearances. But it was 28% in 433 plate appearances in AAA. So he didn't come by this strikeout rate, without deserving it, let's just say. What does Caissie do in a rookie year? And is he somebody that you're interested in drafting for the Marlins with a 369 ADP? Pretty cheap.
No, I mean, he is not someone that I am super interested in drafting this year. Look at this StatCast.
But no, I'm not looking at that. It was 27 plate appearances. That's not fair. Fair.
I think it is fair. Because that is indicative of who he's been in the minor leagues, right? So, like, yes, he is a guy who can walk. He's a guy who's got legitimate power.
Weirdly, didn't walk in the majors though.
Yeah, that's true, but I'm pretty sure
that's the sample size.
Yeah, well, it's also like, hey, he swings outside of the zone too much.
Right, I'm sure that they were just spamming pitches out, and he was chasing.
And his zone swing percentage was unreal high, right? Like it was 85%. And usually when we start getting to like the 70s, you're like, hey, he's being really, really aggressive.
Yeah, it was 69 in the minors.
I want to see like the league average zone swing percentage is 65%, and he was at 85%.
So Caissie came up, and again, when
he just swung at everything. He was just like, I'm gonna. Well, and especially because we have to remember, like he was on the Cubs last year, a place where he did not have guaranteed playing time, and he's trying to make an impact. And a young player comes up and goes, "This is how I'm going to make an impact." Right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna swing. Right? Now, obviously, super, super, super small sample. So far in spring, he's got a 25% walk rate, right? Like he's also got a 62% strikeout rate, and it's only like 3 games. So like we obviously don't want
We are killing him over these. This isn't even a cup of coffee. These are sips of espresso, as I like to say when the sample's this small. But the takeaway is this.
It's
keep an eye on the swing and miss.
He's at least coming up with a plan, right? Like he's coming up and going, I'm not going to swing too much. I'm going to wait for my pitch. And I'm going to, like, for me, like, it's going to be really important to watch this type of profile. Like, hey, am I willing to be patient, not swing at every pitch. And like so far, he's actually doing a really good job of that. Now, like I said, it's only 3 games, and that can like he could have like one game where he swings outside the zone every time, and all of a sudden, like the stats go back to looking like they did before.
Owen Caissie took a ton of walks coming up though. Double-digit walk rates all the way up. 13% in AAA before his little piddly debut. So I think this is actually part of his approach here, and he's got some real pop. He could be pretty solid. Now, Miami's not a great park for doing anything, I guess, except pitching. Nothing for hitting, though, so that's not necessarily great, and he's penciled into the bottom third of the lineup.
As a strong side platoon.
Right, and that's also why he's picked 369, though, right? All these flaws that we're pointing out, that's part of why he's cheap. But you're not really interested, you're saying, right?
Not really. Like,
Okay.
I at the price, it's fine. Like,
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with it. Like, I could see myself, like, later on being like, hey, if I needed some power, like, when you're getting to that pick, like, he's a guy that I could make a gamble on. Like, he's only gone in 3 OCs in the last 2 weeks. Like,
and that makes sense.
Personally, 3 in that format.
He doesn't go in every single one, and I don't think he needs to because there's a world where Owen Caissie doesn't break camp. I don't think just because he was traded for Edwin Cabrera that he's like,
I think he's going to, though.
Unquestioned. I think he's going to as well. I said there's a scenario where he doesn't, and that is, strikes out 50% throughout all of spring or something. So I don't think it's
like
completely
for me,
impossible.
the fact that, and this is more of an indictment of the like way too high ADP than it is like a low ADP for a guy like Caissie, is like the fact that he is going far behind Jasson Dominguez is ridiculous. Like Jasson Dominguez should be going this area as well because like Dominguez probably isn't making the opening roster, and even if he is, he's not a starter.
He's
like,
the big name though, so people
like,
are still drafting him really high.
So like if you're into like that kind of like prospect kind of guy, like take the shot on Caissie because he's going so late. I'm not going to because I don't think he's a very good hitter. Like I think like from a pure hitting perspective, like I don't think he's very good. But like could he do a Josh Stowers impression like last year? Kyle Stowers. Who the hell is Josh Stowers?
Josh Towers.
I was thinking Josh Towers. Like, could he do a Stowers impression and like hit 25 bombs and like 500 plate appearances? I think he could. So like, I might take the gamble just because it's so late.
That's the thing. 369 for Caissie is the reason to kind of stay like on the fringes of interest. Okay, let's go to Tyler O'Neill here, and I don't. You say I didn't, and I agree with you, but maybe I did, and neither of us remember. I don't think I brought up this point yesterday, but this is a point I wanted to bring up with you and Joe. And I
also may not have been listening, which happens a lot.
Also fair. So if I did bring it up, I'm sorry for repeating it, but I think it is a pretty decent point anyway, and it does relate directly to O'Neill. And again, this is not a dig at Roster Resource or Jason Martinez at all. And I know when you frame something like that, it's like, no, he's about to definitely roast this guy. I'm not. I'm blaming us, the fantasy community. But every year, there's a couple guys that we take to the bank. We as the fantasy community take what Jason says to the bank as the unquestioned Bible of how the season's going to play out for the particular team. And some guy gets sunk in the ADP. And it's usually a more established veteran. One of the more recent ones that I remember, and it's a long time ago now because this guy hasn't been good for a while, but there was a year where he was penciling in DJ LeMahieu to kind of be a super utility bench guy. And all offseason, I was like, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think they're still going to play. I want to say it was coming into 2022. So it was coming off of the 2021 season that wasn't great for LeMahieu, and they thought maybe they're going to start moving on from him. I was like, I don't know about that. And so I was kind of drafting against that because his ADP was falling. I think that's Tyler O'Neill this year. He's been on their bench from Roster Resource all offseason as a short side platoon guy, and I think that's greatly impacting his ADP, and I'm not sure it should. 394, and I'm not even the biggest ton guy here, Tyler O'Neill. He's got flaws, folks. He hit sub 200 last year. I want to say that plays a big role in his 394 ADP too, but I'm here to say, in a Matthew Berry kind of way, didn't even mean to rhyme there, I think the hate's gone too far on Tyler O'Neill. Pick 400 for a guy who's a year removed from a 30-bomb season, and we've seen have these big ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
That's a buy the dip for me. He had a 218 BABIP last year, and I don't think he's going to sit for Dylan Beavers, which is what we have right now is Beavers on the strong side and Ton on the short side. I think Tyler O'Neill is going to be a starter, and Beavers is going to have to fight for his playing time / go back to the minors. Where do you come out on Tyler O'Neill?
Well, and Hale makes the point I was literally about to, which is Basayo just got hurt, right? Like,
that's a great call. That opens everything up for both now.
All of a sudden, like now they have the spot for both guys, and like the Orioles aren't a team that goes out and spends a ton of money, right?
Right.
Like they should, but they don't.
We cooked them last year for it, and this year they had a better offseason. I credit where it's due. I liked their stuff way better this year.
I mean, they're paying him, $16.5 million a year. Like, I don't think he's a bench bat. Like, I don't think he's a short side platoon bat. Not to mention, like, you never know when the wind is going to be strong enough to knock over Tyler O'Neill and hurt him.
He does have injury issues.
That's been his main issue. Like, the reason he didn't play last year, was because he just couldn't stay healthy. The dude is just so ripped that like he's inflexible and continuously gets hurt. But at this price, like it's just too good to pass up. Like
it simply cannot hurt you. Like truly.
Yeah, at 360,
you guys know,
like it's just go for it. And
is that in the OCs?
Yeah, 359 in the last 2 weeks of the OCs. Like I think you have to like take that gamble because the upside is so great. Like how many guys down here potentially are a 30-plus homer bat in a really good lineup.
Right. That have done it twice and put up like two legitimately big seasons like Tyler O'Neill has.
Because now again, like he's one of those guys, like he gets hurt, you drop him. He doesn't play, you drop. Like
easy decisions. I
love those
with Tyler O'Neill.
Decisions early on in the season. So like I think you're right. Like I think this is a guy that people are sleeping on, that people are looking at roster resource and go, where does he play? Like that always works itself out. Like it really does, especially when talent is there. Like just bank on like, hey, like if he stays healthy, he's great. If he doesn't, I cut him.
And our biggest complaint about the Orioles in the recent years, well, apart from their off seasons, has been the difficulty of getting these young, interesting prospects in because they've had guys worse than O'Neill to back them, to block them. O'Neill's at least a pretty cromulent outfielder.
They're going to put the player out there that's hitting. You know? And I think the other thing that we kind of forget is Tyler O'Neill's a good defender. Like
huge arm.
And, like, why do they continue to play Colton Cowser when Colton Cowser struggles?
Great glove.
Because he's a great glove. Like, you don't think that factors into the potential for a guy like Tyler O'Neill as well? I think it does. Like, I think they'll put him, like, if he's healthy and being a really, really good defender out there, I think they're going to give him every opportunity to play. So
he's batting four like every day in spring too that he's playing Tyler O'Neill. So again, this is not dogging out Jason. This is saying that we should have been a little bit more critical of it as a fantasy market and said, is Dylan Beavers really going to leapfrog Tyler O'Neill getting paid $15 million? Sometimes you just follow the money, folks. Obviously, if he's dog crap, by Memorial Day, then the money becomes less important. But to start the season, making $16 million versus the guy making league minimum like Dylan Beavers, you get an edge there. You get more time to kind of show if you can come back. And so Tyler O'Neill's going to get his chance.
This is a team that doesn't care about the money, and it doesn't care about the money in a very unique way, right? Like Pittsburgh doesn't care about the money. So like when they do spend money, they're going to play the guy nonstop, and then they'll cut him as soon as like the incentives kick in. They do, right? Yeah. But like the Orioles like don't care about the money in a way that like, hey, they're almost like a low budget Boston Red Sox. Like the Red Sox will not play a guy even though they're paying him $25 million a year because he doesn't make their team better. That's kind of what the Orioles do, like in a way, right? Like they don't care about money, they don't care about prospect status. If you're not helping the team, they're not going to give you an opportunity. So like I think they're gonna give O'Neill this opportunity if he's playing well. And at 360, like you take that and you kind of wait and see what happens.
And even if the Basayo news ends up being bad, and it does clear up the opening for O'Neill and Beavers to both play, and his price goes up, I still think Tyler O'Neill's probably worth it.
I don't think his price will go up very much.
Right. If it's 310, 320, let's say it goes up a couple rounds, I'm still paying that. Tyrone O'Neal's going to play when he's healthy. I'm sorry. I just think he is.
Yeah.
All right, let's go into the volume plays here. And again, I've bolded a few because I don't think we have time to deep dive all of them. Daulton Varsho's kind of an established guy. We kind of know what he is. He's got some upside to do even more. He hit 20 homers.
He needs to stay healthy.
Exactly. He's another one of these guys, like he plays all-out defense, and that kind of hurts him. He did rip 20 bombs in 71 games last year. He's been known to run double-digit steals in 3 of the last 4 years, but the one that he didn't get was last year when he went 2 for 2. But he's an interesting play. You can take a look at him. The first guy I want to talk about is Heliot Ramos on your favorite ball club, the Giants. And do you ever have these guys where you don't really have a bunch of laundry list of points that you can reel off about why you like a guy, but you just like him? Because that's where I'm at with Heliot Ramos. I don't have like a bunch of StatCast things to point to you or baseline stats or anything. I just kind of like the dude, and I think he's a pretty solid player. I think we've seen 2 pretty solid seasons. He fell back a little bit from 24 to 25, but he still put up 21, 69 with 6 steals and a 256. And going in pick, let me see where I got that here. Pick 223, I'm okay with that. I think that's fine. Like, he's going to play every day for your boys, and I think Heliot Ramos, pretty solid player at age 26. I know you're not the biggest fan of his, though. What am I missing?
I just don't think he has any real overwhelming skill, right?
That's okay. I like that he does everything pretty well.
I think he is an accumulator. I think you also have to ratchet down the plate appearance. He got almost 700 plate appearances last year. He's not going to lead off again.
Okay.
He's also a truly terrible defender, and they brought in Bader for
y'all's defense is comically stupid, by the way.
He's a truly bad defender. You know, like for some reason while you were kind of introducing Ramos, like I just got like the line from Mean Girls stuck in my head. It's like, Gretchen, stop trying to make Heliot Ramos
I am going to make Heliot Ramos happy. He's going to be exactly like Fetch. So Fetch.
It is like, it's just, to me, like, I just don't see the
You've
world
always hated
where
him.
Oh no, I haven't. I was a big fan of him as a prospect. I've gotten to watch him too much to the point where and those of you who are diehards of the podcast, you'll know, like, in spite of the fact that I hate the Dodgers, I actually hate my own team more.
Oh my God, you do.
Like, I'm super critical of them. It's because I watch 160 games a year of them. And what's
Heliot got to do, though, man? 2 pretty solid years in a row. In fact, he did 2025's production in 36 fewer games. He basically matched the production there. So even if he does lose the playing time, like you said, because 700 plate appearances is a lot, 695, aren't you heartened by the fact that even in 180 fewer plate appearances, he still did more or less the same thing?
Yeah, and I mean, like, the StatCast numbers aren't bad, at least from a power perspective.
Right, you can see where that
There's
they
the
stick
contact
out.
skills that really kind of scare me a little bit, though they weren't terrible either. Like, maybe I am just, there's part of me that wonders, like, am I just being too critical because I see this guy all the time? And
he's boring. I'm not gonna, oversell. But I think he's
I don't see another level, is what I'm gonna say.
That's okay.
I think this is an accumulator type that you can get at a decent price, because he's currently going, wow. See, but the problem it's not a decent price. Like, he's going in the same spot as Adolis Garcia, as Caglianone. Like, I'm gonna take those. Like, even like he's 15 picks behind or 13 picks behind Brian Reynolds. Like, isn't that just a better accumulator? Like,
I was going to bring up Brian Reynolds and say, if you like him so much, why don't you like Ramos? Is he better?
I think so.
Not last year. I'm not just going to take last year. You got to look at the scope. The 2 years before that, he was.
He might not be, actually. Like, yeah,
and he's 5 years older.
They might be the same guy.
And that's exactly the point I was going to make. So, I love Brian Reynolds, and I love him at his price. So, ergo, I think I really like Heliot Ramos at his price too.
Yeah, I just don't think I'm going to end up with him, but
that's okay. I've softened you a little, and that's enough for me, because you have not liked him for the last year plus, and I've been trying to work on you. So maybe this year I'll keep working. Maybe rips 30.
Let's go from one guy who on my team that I don't like to another guy on my team I don't like.
This one is a little bit more understandable, but I might like this guy even more. It's Jung Hoo Lee. I like the player, and I have a connection to him from out of the park baseball because, they had it programmed in for him to come over, the way he did in real life. So in that off season every year of every sim that you did, Jung Hoo Lee would come over as a free agent. So I learned about him before he came over to the States. I knew he was the grandson of Win. That was his nickname and all that. I learned about his grandfather and everything. So I've liked this player even before he came over to the States. I'm a little bit of a hipster nerd on Jung Hoo Lee. But by the same token, I'm not going to sit here and blow too much smoke up y'all's butts. He went a pretty boring 8-10 last year with the homers and steals. 266 average is nice. But in 617 plate appearances, that's a little dry. That's a little dry on the fantasy production. I obviously don't think that you think there's more. I was going to ask you that, but I know the answer is no. But I think there is. And where it comes from, for me, I think is the batting average. I still think he can be like a 275, 280 type guy. And if I can get 10-10 with that, I'll take it. So I don't mind Jung Hoo Lee. I'm not putting him on every team at pick, let's see here, 291, but I don't mind him at all.
I might surprise you here.
If you say anything nice, you're going to surprise me. So go ahead.
I think the price is too low.
Yeah.
He's going at pick 311 in an area where
even cheaper in the OC. Wow.
Yeah, he's going in an area where like he's going 11 or 12 picks behind Jasson Dominguez, who's not going to play. He's going in the Victor Scott, Jordan Walker area. Like, yes. The flaw for Jung Hoo Lee is he does not hit the ball hard. Like he you look at the StatCast profile and you go, oh, that's a lot of blue in the power metrics, but it's like blood red in the contact profile. And like in this park where you're like, hey, he can't hit for power in this park. Okay. Like, yes, is it going to be an empty batting average? Sure. But batting average is like the hardest thing to get,
especially late,
and there is a world in which Jung Hoo Lee hits 300.
And is there any world, and Hale's bringing it up in the chat too, is there any world where he turns up the steals? Now, he didn't, despite being nicknamed the grandson of Win, it's his grandfather who was the super speedy guy.
Yeah.
He was more of a 10 to 14 guy even in the KBO, so there might not be a spike, but can we get to 15 if he hits 300 this year, do you think, with Jung Hoo Lee?
I have a hard time buying it because of the Giants.
Because y'all don't run. I knew you were going to say that.
That's the big issue. Now,
I agree with you too.
We want to just kind of keep an eye on like what they're doing because we really don't know. But
because they got the new coach, manager, I should say.
But Tony Vitello, like at Tennessee, they were like the third to last in team stolen bases. So
they were also MASH City. Part of that was his team that like he had these bruiser ass teams.
Yeah, so we definitely want to like keep an eye on like,
although you guys kind of do too now that I'm looking at it, right? You got a lot of power in the middle there, so maybe you guys do the same thing.
We just want to kind of keep a look. Like I would probably project like 8 to 10, and then anything I got on top of that is gravy. But like I do feel like this is like a 10-10 type of player with like a 280 batting average.
One of the key statistics to look at in the spring is stolen base attempts.
Yes.
I think it's Eno that I learned this from. Regardless of the success rate, if they're allowed to run, that can be indicative. He has none so far in 4 games, but if Jung Hoo Lee gets up with like 5-6 attempts this spring, I think you can put a little stock into that maybe they're planning on running more. But he has to do that first.
Yeah.
So you can monitor that, but don't just bake it in. I know this is one of Justin's favorite phrases, and he uses it properly when he talks about people wish casting. I'm a wish caster myself. I can acknowledge that. Don't wish cast 15, 17 steals for Jung Hoo Lee. No. But if he's running in spring, now you could have 15 steals with a big average, and then maybe he becomes more appealing. He's cheap, though.
This, in some ways, is like a Temu Stephen Kwan situation, right? Like
that's a good way to put it.
Like if you, and I am a fan of the Stephen Kwan profile because it's so hard to find batting average that isn't completely empty. Yes. And I think, this one is a little empty, but it's not completely empty for Jung Hoo Lee. I think there is, I think he should, I don't think there is an opportunity for him to have a better batting average. He should have a better batting average. I think he 277 XBA last year. He's been a 92.5% zone contact guy over the course of his career in the major leagues. He does not swing outside of the zone. Swinging strike rate for his career is 5%. Like, there is a lot to really like. Now, I think I'm really interested to see what happens with this lineup, because like right now, Luis Arraez is projected to lead off, and I think he probably will to start the season.
So
But
annoying.
honestly, like they should just let Jung Hoo Lee lead off. Like, like he's a guy who's shown the ability to take walks in the KBO. He walked at a 7% clip last year. Like you give him a 7-8% walk rate with that low strikeout rate and good average. Like I think there's a world where he has like a 340 on base percentage and could be a leadoff guy. Either way, he's going to hit up at a decent part in the lineup and accumulate a lot of stats. So like, I think, yes, it's not a lot of power, it's not a lot of speed, but I think it's a lot of everything else, and that's fine for me. And at this point, I don't know what's happened, Paul, so I'm just going to kind of keep the train rolling as until he comes back. Something must have happened. So the next guy on the docket is Jordan Walker, and Jordan Walker is a former top prospect that has just not really figured out where he's going to be in terms of a major league career. Walker last year had a very, very up and down season, but it was mostly down, hitting 215, 278, 306. There's been a lot of talk about him this offseason in terms of reworking his swing, because he does swing and miss way too much. Obviously, really small sample. He isn't hitting well, but the strikeout rate is down to 22%. If Jordan Walker can produce the kind of batting average and not strike out as much, not swing and miss inside the zone as much, there's a ton of power potential there for Jordan Walker. You look at his StatCast profile, and I'll bring that up for people that are watching in the YouTube right now. And yes, it is very, very blue, like extremely ice cold blue in the contact profile. But in the power metrics, it is unbelievably red. Jordan Walker has a 99th percentile bat speed. He has an 87 percentile hard hit percentage, a 91 percentile average exit velocity. Not a very good defender, though he does have a strong arm. He is fast, though. Like Jordan Walker, he hasn't stolen a ton of bases at the major league level, but kind of, was sneaky good in, small playing time last year. Just under 400 plate appearances, stole 10 bases. There's a ton of upside. This is like a boom or bust type of guy, Jordan Walker. And I'm somewhat interested because the price is interesting.
I cannot believe to come back to this. This is the crazy. I think I'm dreaming right now. I'm in a fugue state. My internet crapped out there. I've been gone for a couple minutes here. You've carried the mantle beautifully. To come back hearing you speak well of Jordan Walker, who I thought you long quit. Understandably, I might add, if you did, understandably. But dude, did you mention Driveline yet?
I mentioned that he was reworking his swing.
Okay, so he went to Driveline to work on it, and I heard when I came back, you were talking about how he could run. He's actually a sneaky, decent runner.
Yeah.
Did you also see, and I know these comments are difficult to ever put too much stock into, but before spring started, Ali Marmol says he believes Walker could steal more bases in 2026.
I hadn't said that, but I had seen that.
That's something, though, because we always talk about how managers and players decide that sort of stuff.
Yeah. And it appears that Paul's internet may have frozen out again. So I'm just going to take over. And so, yeah, I mean, like, that is really interesting to me, that, like, they may let him just run more. But what's more interesting to me is the, like, contact skills. Like, can he? And it's a very Jordan Walker-esque underlying contact skills so far this spring. 93% zone contact is elite. Now, we're talking about 3 games. 3 games. Sure. So, like, this does not mean a hell of a lot. 47% O swing. Not elite. Really, really bad.
Oh, my gosh,
now,
dude.
To his credit, it's still an 11% swinging strike rate. Like, he's not swinging and missing.
It hasn't been a bunch of Ks, either. It's 22%
Like,
in the small sample for Jordan Walker. I'm not quitting him, dude.
He has an unreal 62% O contact. So he is making contact outside of the zone at an unreal
62% clip.
Like, I mean, obviously, like, but it's like, obviously, like, he's not going to continue that. Like,
no, it's 3 games.
Like, like
what do you need to see in spring to go to be like hot on Jordan Walker's tail in the main event? Obviously, if it's too hot of a spring, then everyone's going to be on him. So, like, what's the balance there? Of you want to see enough positive signs that he doesn't become.
It's a strikeout rate. It all just comes down to the strikeout rate.
Like, I'm with you 100%.
Part of the problem with Jordan Walker is he's 6'6", right?
Yes.
Like, he's just a massive dude with a massive strike zone. We see this all the time. These guys with massive levers, they tend to, like, I think everybody always points to, like, guys like Judge, and they forget guys like Kyle Blanks. Like,
oh my God, Kyle Blanks.
Right? Like, O'Neal Cruz is going through this issue. Like, part of it is his selectiveness or his inability to be selective, but part of it is he has just got such a big strike zone. That's a lot of area to cover, right? And when you've got those long levers, it's hard to cover certain aspects of that zone. So, like, I want to see the strikeout rate and the contact skills be good. If we're another 2 weeks down the road and Jordan Walker is, like, not
striking out, hitting a few bombs,
then all of a sudden I become massively interested. But I think right now is the time to take that gamble, right? Because he's in that area where it's like he doesn't really hurt you. Like, you can drop him, especially in a 12-team league. Like he should be on all 12-team rosters of mine, like, at this point.
Pick 300. Come on, I'm taking that all day with my boy Jordan Walker. I can't quit him. I got to give at least one more.
I'm not going to quit him either. Like, I'm just going to keep going back to the well, especially right now because it's so cheap. Yeah,
the price discount is finally there to make it worthwhile to really take the plunge. He did have 10 steals last year, by the way, in 396 plate appearances. I know you talked about the steals with Jordan Walker, and if Ali Marmol's saying he's going to run more, this could be the breakout. Now, for Jordan Walker, because he's been so mediocre / bad, the breakout might just be like a 2014 type of season with like a 260 average. So it wouldn't set the world on fire, but that would still be very valuable at pick 300. So keep an eye on Jordan Walker. Justin and I are definitely in. Austin Hayes, we're going to skip. I will give him a hat tip. I'm not skipping over him because I don't like him. He's going to be on the White Sox. He's going to get playing time, but he's kind of boring and fine. I want to talk a little bit more about Dominic Canzone because he's making some noise. I'm hearing some folks around the industry. I'm reading some things about talking about him. I've never been the biggest Canzone guy, not because I'm anti, but because he's one of these guys that's a little bit off my radar, to the point where I didn't even realize he popped off with a 141 WRC plus last year in half a season. That's why people are so hot on him. 11 homers, 3 steals. They're doing the very easy but very misleading and dangerous doubling of the numbers because he played 82 games, and they're trying to say, 22-6 with a 300 average. It ain't going to be that, folks. But what can it be for Dominic Canzone? What can he take from this season to build upon to be a strong 450, 500 plate appearance guy? Because he is going to platoon on the strong end for Canzone.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pulling up his StatCast profile, and I think it's going to be pretty damn red for a guy who's not qualified. So, yeah, I think there is some really good sneaky power. Now, he's another one of these guys that he doesn't elevate the ball. He's a 10-degree launch angle. Last year, his fly ball percentage was 33%. So this could be one of these situations where, you could hit the ball hard, but a lot of it's going to be on the ground or line drives. So, yeah, I mean, 54% line drive, 44% line drive, 23%. Sorry, God, I'm just all over the place. 44% ground ball, 23% line drive last year. And, like, the trend is kind of continuing in spring. The other trend that's continuing in spring is a lot of kind of swing and miss, swing outside the zone 33% of the time, 17% swing and strike rate, and a 76% zone contact. Those are the type of numbers that get you sent down to the minors.
And I will say,
now, it's super, super small sample. It's been like 3 or 4 games.
It's also worth pointing out that these numbers stabilize quickly. Not this quickly. Yeah. These are samples that are too small, and I want to caveat us using them too much and y'all listening to them too much. But once we start to get to 50, 60 plate appearances, so in a week or so, some of these numbers are going to start to have a little bit more stability to them to where you can start to say, or, hey,
Well, it'll
this
take
is
a little
also...
bit longer than that because most guys aren't playing full games.
That's true. So, like, yeah, to get up to the 60, it might take 2 more weeks. But that's
Really,
that's the number
really,
you're looking for is about 65 plate appearances on some of these metrics.
Yeah, really, we're going to start looking at this stuff in 2 weeks and going, okay, is this stuff legit now? Like, he's going to be given the opportunity, though. Like, I think the Manners have made it pretty clear they want him on the strong side.
They need hitting. Man.
Yeah, and like there is power in this bat. So another one of these guys that, probably, let's see, what is his ADP? I bet you. So he hasn't even gone in every single OC. It's 330.
He hasn't?
No, 15 of the 21.
I know it's 12 team, but that surprises me. And I'm not even the biggest Canzone guy, but I thought he would be. And by the way, I kind of overstated there when I said Seattle needs the offense. Their offense was actually quite good last year. They can always use it, but they're not as starving for it as they were coming into last year. Canzone's actually a number 6 hitter for them. He kind of ignites the bottom half of the order if he plays the way he did last year at all. So is he somebody that you're willing to take then?
Yeah, I think so.
Pick 360 in the DCs, and then where was he in the OCs? The ones he did go in?
Canzone is 330.
Yeah, I mean, that's just dirt cheap in a 12-team, folks. If you like him, take your shot. Okay, Mike Yastrzemski and Lars Nootbaar finish off this boring volume play here. Yastrzemski's in Atlanta, if you didn't know.
I just mentioned something with Nootbaar. Like,
absolutely.
I know we're trying to go fast.
I love Nootbaar, so anytime you want to stop to talk about him, go ahead.
Yeah, so he is dealing with an injury, which is always a problem.
Surprise.
But like, I feel like this might be the year Nootbaar finally does like what we think he's capable.
Oh, wait, hang on.
What?
Something from last year or the year before just started playing. It sounded like you, but I think it was an old recording because you said that you think Lars Nootbaar's...
He's just so good when he's on
I
the
love
field.
him too, by the way. I wasn't making fun of Justin. We say this every year about this MF. We want this guy to be great.
But this is also like a year in which like they're not being competitive. Like there's no reason not to let him just have full reign, play full time. I don't think he's going to platoon in St. Louis. And if he's healthy, he's not right now, but if he's healthy by the end of spring, like he's going to be a draft target for me.
He's still a DC target for me despite being hurt because he's past pick 400, and I can't go gamble free. Like there's not 0 gambles on my team. So give me the guy who's leading off, even if it's for a crappy team, past pick 400 in a DC. So I'm glad you stopped us on Nootbaar. All right, we have to do a speed round here. It's not even about the speed guys, but it's a giant group of some pop, some speed. There's so many similar profiles here. So I'm just going to let you speed round, give your comment. I might not even have a comment back, except on a couple of these guys. You know I'm going to say something about Evan Carter. But let's go ahead and start with Daylen Lile. Big breakout for the Nats last year. What are you seeing this year for him?
I like Lyle more than most.
Okay.
And I think we, in our group chat with you, me, and Jason, you guys were kind of besmirching Lyle.
Yes, I'm not the biggest Lyle guy.
But I think people also forget, like, this was a top 100 prospect that was just overshadowed by Dylan Cruz and James Wood within the system. Like, yes, he does not hit the ball very hard, but what he does do is make a lot of contact. And I think he is the Nats really like him. He's going to play every day. It's accumulator profile. But like, I do like him as just like a guy who isn't going to hurt you. Very safe floor, going to play, and kind of accumulate to
pick 200. Okay for you?
That's too high.
Yeah. Are you surprised to hear that? Maybe you're not alone on him. Maybe you're alone in our friend group, but with the industry, you're lower still, because that's around the outfielders that go around him are Jac Cags, Barger. Then it's Lyle, and then behind him is
kind
Abreu
of Brian Reynolds, right?
Yep.
Like, so, like, why am I? Yeah, that's probably too high.
That's my concern. And people want to say power speed, which I put him in the power speed category, so I'm not making fun of them. But he was 8 for 14 on the bases last year. That's really bad.
Yeah,
like, that's almost 50%, y'all. That's like terrible. You can't do that. And he's not. So I worry about his steals maybe dropping to a yellow light. So we got to move on.
I actually don't worry about that. And you know what? I'm actually going to say, like, I do like that price. I'll take that.
Okay. You paid 200.
If he goes 2020, I'm not going to be surprised.
Daylen Lile, 2020 from Justin. Okay, I like you making a bold claim there. Sal Frelick with the Brewers. Is there another level here? Let's just go straight with a question like that. He went 12-19 last year with a 288. Is that the best that we've seen? And he comes down, holds that level, or can add a level?
No, I think that's it.
I think no,
Yeah,
that's it, and he comes down, or that's it, and he holds here for Frelick.
I think he probably comes down,
Has
at least
to, right?
in the batting average department. Like I as much as I love Sal Frelick, and I do, because like I think he was super underrated. Like this is one of those guys where now I feel like he is being a little bit overrated.
211 pick 211. Yep.
Yeah, it's just a little bit too high for Frelick. There's just not enough pop there. And
totally
yeah,
fair.
he will steal some bases, but yeah, no.
I think I would rather just have Jordan Beck a full round later at pick 230. And I'm not even a big, huge Jordan Beck guy, but he's out in Colorado. He had a little pop and speed last year. What does he do for an encore?
I don't think Jordan Beck is a very good hitter. And
I would agree.
And I understand like the Colorado inflation, but I think this is like one of these Aristides Aquino types where everybody remembers the big weekend and forgets like he was dog shit most of the year. And like, yes, there is some pop in the bat, but there's really, it's not like transcendent power. Like you actually look at like a lot of that pop is in the max exit velocity was like that big weekend. Like he
right.
didn't consistently hit the ball hard, and he swings and misses too much. I don't think this is a very good player at all. I wouldn't draft him on your team, much less my team.
Oh, thank you, because I don't want him either. Yeah. Ramon Laureano is boring production. He was really good for them. I think we have talked about him tangentially when we've talked about the Padres and what they're doing. Any issues with his ADP of 242? Does that seem fair for you, for Laureano?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just never going to draft him.
Okay. For any skill reason? Like, what's the exact reason?
I mean, Laureano has just been this guy that has had moments in the major leagues his entire career, and then either performance or injury just wrecks it. Like, right? Like last year was the most amount of plate appearances he's ever had, 488, right? He's never had a 500 plate appearance season. And that in 2019 are the outliers there. Like, other than that, like his highest plate appearance total is 404. I don't think you're going to get the volume, and at that pick, you can get guys who volume.
I should have put these two together when I was doing Jordan Beck with Mickey Moniak, because it's two Rockies, of course. So I will move Moniak up a little bit. He goes a good bit cheaper at 261 than Beck. That feels like a mistake to me, and I'm not a huge fan of either. I want to be clear on that, just so you don't think I'm gassing either. But like, why? I think I'd rather take. I'm probably because of the speed people think Beck's going to have, but I think I'd rather just take Moniak in the discount if I'm taking either.
I think that is the right analysis right there. I think he's going to hit 20 plus home runs. I think he's going to steal 10 bases, and I think he's going to play every day. And like very similar to Jordan, or not Jordan Walker, Joe Adele. Moniak's actually made really big gains every single year since 2023 in the zone context. 76% in 2023. In 2024 is 81%. Last year was 85%, which is league average. Now he swings outside the zone too much and is way too aggressive in the zone. So I think he's going to kind of have these up and down fluctuations, and he's terrible on the road, terrible versus lefties. And so for me, the place I want Moniak is a deep daily moose league, right? Where I can truly
squeeze out all those Rockies.
You get all the, like, because you're only going to play him. The problem with Rockies is when they platoon, you are in a position where you can only play them at home. So that's 50% of the time. And then you can only play them versus right-handed pitching. So now you have a player that you can only play like 35% of the time.
Really start narrowing things.
You have to be in the, like, these platooning Rockies have to be in leagues that, like, NFBC kind of works a little bit, but even that, like, you're still shooting 35% of the time. I don't really want those guys on my roster in NFBC.
I tend to agree, and that's why I said, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's really in like the daily Yahoo, the daily ESPN leagues where I can like really maximize when I'm using him.
Yeah, even a shallower one where I maybe normally wouldn't draft a guy like Moniak, like a 12 team, I might stream him and just literally play him at home when I can in one of those leagues.
Especially those leagues where you have like daily moves in terms of like your line, not just your lineups, but your roster. Like where I can just go, okay, I'm going to pick him up, play him here. I'll play him for 2 or 3 games and then I'll drop him. Like, like that's,
it's a headache, but that's the way to play Moniak and Beck if you like.
I'm going to pick him up for this 10 game, home stretch. And then I'm going to drop him when they go on the road. Like,
let's move to Colton Cowser. I agree with you on Moniak there. Colton Cowser went 16-14 last year, but he did hit 196. It came with a 262 BABIP, but it also came with a 36% K rate and 8% walk rate. So pretty modest plate skills. And the reason I bring that up is because when you have plate skills that bad, especially at 36% K rate, I don't think that the BABIP just completely happened to you. I think that some of your choices are playing a role in that. All that to say, though, I still think he's better than a 262 BABIP, Colton Cowser. And even if he hits just 2 1/4, I'll take it because I think he can go 20-20 at pick 250. I'm still in on Cowser. What about you?
Yeah, I'm throwing away a lot of last year because he was injured most of it. Like he broke ribs. He was just up and like down in terms of the health. Now he is just this fantastic defender who goes all out. So like that is part of the profile potentially.
No doubt.
But I do think that there is a lot of upside in Cowser, and I know his playing time is secure because he's such a fantastic defender. I'm not out on Cowser. Especially at the price. I'm here for it.
I'm quite in even. Yep. All right, Josh Lowe is moving out west to the Angels. Playing time galore. And, we talk about when guys go to the Rays, we generally are interested because they're a smart team, like to see what they do. When guys go to the Angels, you don't usually get all that excited for good reason. But in this case, going Rays to Angels is kind of an automatic playing time boost because the Rays meticulously manage guys and run platoons, and the Angels don't know what a platoon is. So they have no idea. I'm obviously being tongue-in-cheek. With whomst? Teodosio?
Teodosio. Teodosio is a premier defender. I think they're going to want him.
Defender.
I think they're going to want him as like the short side center fielder, right? Because Trout wants to play some center field this year and stuff.
So fucking stupid.
I know, and Joe Adell is out there too, but Adell's not a very good defender. I think that you're going to see Teodosio play versus lefties all the time. And I think Josh Lowe is the guy who kind of comes out. So I don't know that much changes with Lowe in terms of. I
still think he's a way better bet for 500 PA than he ever was with the Rays.
That's probably true, especially with the health issues that just seem to happen. I don't know if there's some sort of force field that comes off of Disneyland or something that causes them to all get hurt all the time. But I do think that Lowe probably gets the 500 plate appearances, and I think there is a world in which we see a 2023 kind of season.
And that's kind of what I'm looking for with Josh Lowe. So yeah, I think it's fair to bring up that they might still platoon him there. So I might have overstated it with because of the defensive piece.
I think for sure to start the season he will be platooned, but at some point you have to look at this roster and go, oh my God, these are all guys who have been hurt. Right. We're talking I love Neto, but Neto's had his injury issues.
2 years in a row, right?
Yeah, Trout has had a ton of injury issues. Yohan Moncada, a ton of injury issues. Even Josh Lowe himself, Jorge Soler, a ton of injury issues. Even you go to the bench and you've got Adam Frazier and Vaughn Grisham. There are just injury issues littered there. And if Josh Lowe can stay healthy, he's going to have opportunities throughout the year just because they may not have the bodies to not give him the opportunities.
Exactly. And you mentioned 2023, which was the year that he did spike a decent 712 OPS against lefties, which helped him have that big breakout year. And so I do think that is still an upside lurking. 2032 with a 292 average and 500 plate appearances. That's possible. That's a 95th, 97th percentile outcome. Don't bank on that, but that's at least in the picture for Josh Lowe, and you're only paying pick 257 to get him. That's not crazy. I know Cowser is the pick for both of us against Lowe, but I think either or is okay. If you want to go Lowe, or if you miss out on Cowser and you get Lowe instead, or Josh Lowe. No, he's Lowe. Sorry, it's Brandon Lowe. And you get Lowe instead, that's okay. You could also go to this guy who's a little bit cheaper than both at pick 269, and it's your guy who we did hint at earlier, Mr. TJ Friedl. Are you still in on him as somebody that maybe you don't as aggressively target as you did a couple years ago when you made him your guy, but is he still somebody that you go pick up because he's not really costing you too much at 269? How are you on Friedl this year?
Are you on his Fangraphs page at all?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it only showing defensive stats for you?
Yes. When it does that, I don't know what it's doing, and it makes me irrationally
like
angry.
there isn't even a tab for his hitting.
And it did this with somebody else the other day. Yeah, and you can't even get to it. Something weird is going on, and then you'll come back an hour later, and it'll have fixed itself. So I don't know what this is.
I don't know if they've decided that it's so early in the morning on a Friday that this is the time.
They didn't want to show them to you. So yeah, he went 14-12 last year with a 261. That was a bounce back from an injury washed out bad 2024 for Friedl. So I imagine that you can get back in a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always going to be in on my boy TJ Friedl. I mean, this is a high contact guy. He does not swing outside of the zone. Like there isn't prodigious power, obviously, in his profile, but he's going to play every day. He's a really, really good defender. He's just got to stay on the field.
Yep.
I think there is a world where we have like, a 15-30 type, like, Cedric Mullins kind of year, right? Where it's like, and this was my dude who was like the next Cedric Mullins, and then he had the breakout. Like I think Friedl could get back to that at some point, and so yeah, like at this price, I'm taking that gamble.
I think so too, and I am taking the gamble as well. I love that he bounced his walk rate up to 12% last year. I'm going to monitor spring to see if he keeps some of those gains. He did have 685 plate appearances last year too, so Friedl showed he can stay healthy. Maybe played through some stuff because he plays all out.
We say this all the time about the Braves, but like we should say it about the Reds too. Like this lineup should be better than it has been. And Friedl is projected, and I really don't see another option for them as a leadoff hitter. Like I think Friedl is just going to be the everyday leadoff hitter on what could be a really, really powerful lineup when you have McLean, Ellie, Eugenio,
Suarez going to bring the
Sal
back.
Stewart.
Yep.
Like this is a really good potential lineup. Which makes me wonder, like, hey, are we not talking about JJ Bleday enough? Considering I think he looks like he's on the strong side of platoon in this lineup.
Sign me up in Cincy. I take Cincy guys the way we used to take Rockies guys all the time.
Yeah.
And I mean, we still do. Take
Sacramento
Rockies,
didn't work for him, so it may not work here either.
True. But he's picked 538 in DCs.
Yeah,
JJ Bleday is literally free.
It's free. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about a guy that I can't quit, and I'm still not gonna. Evan Carter. You know why I'm not going to quit him just yet, though? It's because I got to actually see a full shot here, right? We've seen false starts, and that's part of his issue. But you know what I'm going to say next? That's in the price point. He's at pick 289 because he's been injured a bunch and had some false starts. He was an all right hitter last year, 5 homers, 14 steals, 247 average in 63 games. Add up all of his playing time so far, it's 457 major league plate appearances, 15, 19, 235. The skills are there, Justin. He's 23 years old. I know you've never been a big Evan Carter guy, but I think you're missing the boat here. The injuries, I get it, but it's in the price point. You don't like him, do you? You're muted.
Oh, I know I was. I was just giving you
dramatic
the silent
effect
treatment right there.
I knew it. I knew you were.
It had very little to do.
If you didn't see it, folks, he was lounging back in his chair, giving me a snarky-ass little look while I talked about this burgeoning, beautiful hitter named Evan Carter. How dare you?
Listen, I don't want to bury a guy who's 23. Like, and the fact that he's only 23, like, should speak some volumes. There's two problems. Like, right, when I was describing like Moniak, I was saying like, hey, you can only use him like 35% of the time, right? Because you can only use him in Colorado, and you can only use him when he's up against right-handed pitching.
I don't agree with what you're about to say.
But with Evan Carter, like, you don't even get 35%. You can only use him against right-handed pitching, and you can only use him when he's healthy. Neither of that doesn't equal 35%.
You don't know that yet. What if he stays healthy?
Then at best he's still a platoon player.
We just talked up your guy who tried to kill himself running into a fence 2 years ago, played 85 games, came back and played $152. Why can't my boy do that?
I mean, he could. Well, he's definitely not going to play $152.
That's not the projection, I understand, right? And you're right about platoon. I'm not going to argue that he's going to lose time against lefties, Evan Carter is. But I still think you're missing the upside of his talent when he does play and he's healthy.
Yeah, against right-handed pitching, right? Like,
sure.
So he's a platoon. Like we can both agree he's a platoon player, right?
I think for the most part, I'm not committing.
Do you know what
100%.
his career averages versus left-handed pitching? It's super small sample, right?
Yeah, I told you how many plate appearances he has total, right? 457. So frankly, if I'm being honest, I don't care what number you say.
But this is a wish cast, right?
No, it's not. This is a sample size thing.
No, but I'm just saying, let's stop trying to make Evan Carter a thing. It's just...
No, you're insane. I'm sorry. This is a legitimately insane take. Stop trying to make Evan Carter a 23-year-old who's gone 15-19 in 457 plate appearances. Stop trying to make that guy a thing when there are 0. I'm counting something. Hang on. 2. 0. So we're at 2 right now. You know what I'm counting.
I don't know.
4. Lefty starters. There's 4 in the division. Kikuchi, Detmers,
that's actually,
and 2 dickheads in Sacramento. They're not dickheads. It's Springs and Lopez. There's no real reason to call them dickheads. Sorry. But it's 4 guys. Fromber's gone. It's Jeffrey Springs, Jacob Lopez,
Reed
Detmers, and Kikuchi.
I mean, I'll say this. Like, the Steamer, if you give... I just went to Steamer 600.
Mm-hmm.
And 17 homers, 23 stolen bases, 244, 333, 407. Now, I don't know how they work that out with left-handed pitching versus right-handed pitching for guys who have like extreme platoon splits. But like, if there's a world in which he stays healthy where he could be a viable guy, I just...
Thank you.
What's the ADP?
2
if it starts with a 2, that's the wrong answer.
289. What is it in your OCs over there? I'm curious how the OC market's treating him. Okay, so he goes up a little bit there because in the waiver league that makes sense to me. I know you might think like, why is he going higher in the 12 team than he did? First off, smaller pool, but you can cut him, so I get it. So you're out just because he's a 2-something pick. He's going around a guy named Justin Crawford, fake player, never heard of him. I'm kidding. He's a premium prospect. He's Carl Crawford's kid, but dude's never played and he's going ahead of Evan Carter.
Jordan Walker is going 30 picks later, or more than 30, 40.
Okay, he's a different profile though.
Yeah.
Why are you still willing to bet on him, but you're throwing out Evan Carter already at 23 then?
Because I think he's going to play. Like, I mean, it really just comes down to... Now, I'm not going to beat anybody up who takes Evan Carter this year, right? He's not going as high as he has in the past. But
right.
I just don't see... I think in a 12 team it makes sense though, because you can drop, right?
Right. Yeah, see what happens and drop. He's going around Colton
Cowser. In a
Cowser.
15, I wouldn't do it.
I still would, of course.
You still need that volume, and I just don't know that you're going to get it.
But in like a DC, you got to take some gambles. You can't.
A DC is actually
everyone.
The worst place to take him because you can't get him off your roster.
I don't think it's the worst place to take him because of that.
What's the worst place to take him? To dinner? Like, is Evan Carter just a bad date?
No,
like,
I think
there's no worse place. There's no worse place. Well, I mean, I guess a gladiator. Would be the worst.
That's way worse
because he's literally stuck in your life.
Yeah, and I would say
we're not drafting gladiators anymore. So
those are done. You know, I don't think I want him in because if you're just talking about depth, right? And if he leaves, it stings you. Wouldn't you just go down to AL only then?
I also love that you and I are like we're gonna do like one sentence apiece.
We're so bad at this, dude.
We're terrible.
Incapable of going quickly. And honestly,
award-winning podcast.
Our listeners, they don't mind it. Anytime we say, hey, we're going to be quick, they're like, why? We want, so I appreciate that.
I think hail in the comments. Evan Carter won't get 600 plate appearances until 2029.
I wish my internet would go out again. You guys are pissing me off right now. Oh, we're going to talk about another one of my favorites, and he's on your favorite team. So you're going to talk shit about Harrison Bader for sure, you piece of garbage. I love Harrison Bader, but it has nothing to do with his skills. I just really like him as a player. I'm over him as far as like a fantasy thing. Yeah, I don't think he's a terrible pick at pick 315 though in a DC. I really don't. He's going to play as long as he's healthy.
Yeah, exactly. He's finally not.
Wait a minute. No. I'm sorry. I'm interrupting. I'm cutting off 100% right here. I'm 180ing. He was way better than I thought last year. I've forsaken my man. I'm so sorry. I did not realize how well he played with Philly. Holy shit. Like, I knew he did well with Minnesota. I had him on my team. But I missed kind of like the Philly performance, boosted his bottom line number. He went 17-11, 277, good for a 122 WRC plus. I love him in a DC, dude. I'm taking Bader tonight. I'm in
a DC, actually, that is the perfect place to take Bader because he is just going to accumulate.
A boring 500 plate appearances past
exactly.
pick 300
That's what it is. Like, but in a fab league, I probably maybe a 15 teamer. I get it.
I agree. I wouldn't take him in a 12er either.
A 12,
maybe my last pick, maybe at most, but I just don't think I would.
There's just not enough upside because one,
I agree.
He doesn't have the power to power it out consistently at Oracle Park.
He's not going to run for 30 steals either.
The Giants don't steal enough, right? No. Unless we see guys just automatically taking off.
He hasn't been successful enough either, though, for me to think that Bader would get a full green light. He was 11 for 18 last year, 17 for 25 the year before. Those aren't good rates. So, again, as a huge Bader guy, I'm the one fully agreeing with Justin here that he's a 15-team guy. DC or waiver, I think 15 teams you can do Harrison Bader, but other than that, you probably don't want him.
I wonder... Like, is there? Oh, there is. Okay, so
what are we looking up?
I'm looking up spring training stats for teams.
Oh, to see how much you guys have run so far.
Yeah, to see how much. Yeah, see if we've.
Yeah, because we got to figure out what Vitello's going to do. It's going to be really interesting here.
I don't know how to do it by team. Oh, no, I can do it by player.
I think MLB would have that, right? If
I
you
would
go,
think. Let's go to the next guy, and I'll
okay. So, by the way, and you'll see it in the rundown, folks, but Jasson Dominguez and Dylan Beavers were in this tier, but we discussed them during Grisham and O'Neill, respectively. So let's go to Isaac Collins, who got moved to the KC Royals this year from the Brewers, after a breakout season. I think they brilliantly sold high on him, realizing that they got his best year ever. Like, I think it's a near lock that is the best he'll ever be as a 27-year-old rookie. Magic season, by the way. Not a bad player. I'm not saying he's worthless and he's going to fall apart. I just don't think he's going to be better than the 122 WRC plus that we saw last year. I think he's going to be closer to like 99 to 100 like the projections say, and be kind of a boring semi-accumulator himself, Isaac Collins. What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of like Isaac Collins. Now, he is dealing with an injury, I believe.
Oh, dang, I missed that.
Which somebody pointed out to me, I think, during I think the out
Are you
live
looking
stream.
up his injury?
Yeah.
If not, I can't. He's at 357 ADP. I'll say that while you're looking it up.
Oh,
so that helps with the cost.
He got a PRP injection in his knee.
Oh.
He is playing.
That's good, but I'm still not. I just didn't want him coming in. It's not entirely because of the PRP. I want to be clear on that, folks. I just wasn't that big of an Isaac Collins person coming in.
The Giants have stolen 5 bases, which kind of puts them right in the middle of the pack in terms of team stolen bases. Okay. However, there's only one player. 4 players have been a part of these 5 stolen bases,
and only one is on the team.
No, none are on the team. Oh, only one you would even recognize the name.
How dare you? I know players. Give me the names.
Okay, Parks Harbor.
Traded from the Yankees. I know who Parks Harbor is.
Oh, okay.
I did a whole bit on him, dude.
Nate Furman.
I know him, but I don't know him.
He's son of the guy in the OJ trial.
I was gonna say that, but I didn't. I didn't want to be dark. He found the glove too. Anyway.
And then Jesus Rodriguez.
And you got me on that one. I do not know him.
And then there's the guy you will know because I think we were all like, "Ooh, Jared Oliva."
Oh,
that could be a dude, like if he figures things out.
I remember that.
In 7 at bats, he's hitting 429 with 2 stolen bases.
That's a great point, though, that you looked that up, right? Because we do want to look at volume steals for a team to kind of figure out what the manager's going to do. But if he's only letting the Goobers run, no shade, no tea.
He's letting Jared Oliva has 3 of the 6 stolen base attempts.
That kind of undercuts the number because again, he's not going to be on the team.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, be careful on that front there. Back to Isaac Collins with KC here. We're being careful with the knee and just kind of monitoring him. He's boring. He's not a terrible pick. It's just not somebody I got the warm and fuzzies about.
Yeah.
I might rather take this guy who is a similar type substance in Jake Mangum, who did steal 27 bases last year. He got moved out to Pittsburgh. He's about the same ADP, so I'll just give you a 1 versus 1 on Mangum versus Collins. Who do you like?
I think it's Mangum. I think he's going to lead off in Pittsburgh.
That would be great.
Usually leading off in Pittsburgh. Or actually, we don't even have him on.
We have him on the bench right now. Let me check
because of the Ozuna signing.
Oh, that's right. He was starting until then, I think. I think we had him penciled in until that.
That actually, and I think that's right, because they've got Brian Reynolds and O'Hearn in the corners, and they've got to
Who's
figure out
playing first?
Horowitz.
Oh, yeah. That's right. So they are a little, landlocked then for
I think
Mangum.
I think he'll find time, right?
Of course.
He'll be on the short side of platoon with O'Neal Cruz, and then they will just kind of work his way in. So, like, I do think Mangum will be a viable fantasy guy, but maybe not someone worth drafting out the gate.
Should he? Well, no, I was looking for another spot. No, he just doesn't have a spot right now. So he goes pick 369 for a reason. I still think I like him over Collins, but his playing time is a little bit more suspect.
I'll take Collins there because I know Collins is going to play if he's healthy.
I'll take this next guy over both, though. What about Jake McCarthy going to Colorado?
You know he's my boy. Like,
we got to do it.
But again, this is a 35% player, right? Because he is going to platoon
home only and platoon
and home only. So,
but
in the places where you can maximize that,
compared to his teammates, he's picked 385. Yeah. So don't take Moniak and Beck 100 picks sooner, 150 picks.
Don't take Beck. But Moniak has a different skill set.
That's fine. Yes. Don't take Beck. Wait 150 picks for McCarthy.
And McCarthy's actually a good hitter, unlike Beck. Like, McCarthy can make contact.
No, I think he could be really interesting. I agree that he's going to platoon too. That looks like they're going to run a bunch of platoons. By the way, are you moderately intrigued by them with the Podesta coming in?
Mm-hmm.
I really kind of want to see how this works.
I've been saying exactly the same thing I've been saying about the White Sox for the last few years, which is I know life sucks right now, White Sox fans, but there's a brighter future ahead. I believe in what Chris Getz is doing. I now am starting to believe what the Rockies are doing. And for fantasy, the Rockies have been kind of a mid to lower stolen base team. So far in spring training, they have already stolen 12 bases. That's tied for third in baseball.
Let's go. The running Rockies. Now, Hale brings up a good point with regards to sitting McCarthy on the bench during the road. If we just want speed, maybe we take the hit offensively to the other categories to keep getting our steals.
And I think you could make that argument, and I also think there is an argument to be made that while I think they probably will platoon him, like, they don't need to because he's actually a really good defensive player.
And maybe they run out of platoons too, right? You can't platoon everybody all the time, right? They got 4 lefties.
They've got 4,
Are they going to run a perfect 4-4? That's the way we have it set up right now, but we don't know if they're going to follow that.
Isn't Tyler Freeman hurt?
He might be. I'm just going off of roster resource. If
so,
the R is blue, that means
he's been dealing with a back issue. So like I think there's a world in which like they just let McCarthy play because he's so good defensively.
And who's this Ryan Ritter guy? Can he even play center?
I'm
sorry, McCarthy plays left. McCarthy plays left. Never mind.
Ritter's more of an infielder.
Well, then who's backing up McCarthy? Who's even his platoon? Freeman?
Freeman.
Is that why you brought up Freeman?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought he was Julian's platoon. I guess that's Ritter then.
No, that's Ritter. Yeah.
Okay.
Ritter.
I'm just getting the lay of the land here. They're both infield, outfield listed over here.
Like, I honestly, like, there's nobody on this bench that's nearly as good defensively as McCarthy.
Right. And probably not as good hitting. Well, they're better hitting lefty than he is.
I'm going to double check because I'm pretty sure McCarthy grades out as a really good defender. Like, I'm just been going off of like what my memory is of watching him play. Not bad. Yeah, pretty good. So, and great sprint, 99th percentile sprint speed for McCarthy.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah. I really like this McCarthy move. Going out to Colorado is really nice. And I thought there would be a corresponding price hike with it. Pick 385. Where's he going in the OCs?
Probably not.
He went in one of the last few from the sample that I'm looking at. I would even consider him in an OC. I'm not like targeting him, but I would consider him.
He's going 357, but he's only gone in 2 of the 21 OCs.
Again, I think he should be in more than 2. Yeah. Not everyone, but more than 2.
He's a great late game speed option.
Yes, I'm with that. Jake McCarthy with the Rockies. Speaking of making fetch happen, I think we're kind of caught, tapping our wristwatch here on Parker Meadows, making him happen. He is still just 26, but the injuries have started to pile up. 656 total career plate appearances basically amounts to a season, and he's gone 16-21 with a 232. Is that a reasonable expectation if Parker Meadows can find health this year? I understand he might not be able to, but if he can find some health.
This is so funny to me that you will go to bat for Evan Carter, but like, no, Parker Meadows.
I didn't say that I didn't say that I'm out on him. I said we're tapping the wristwatch on him. He's 3 years older.
I know. Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not like he got to the majors.
He's
like,
also cheaper.
Yeah,
he's also much cheaper.
I think this is another one of those. I think this is kind of a very, very similar situation with Evan Carter, right? Like, I think that he is a guy that in a shallow league I can take the gamble on because he is so cheap, right? And
try to spike something.
Yeah, if he stays healthy, I can do it. Like, and like, unlike Carter, like Meadows' injuries, I don't think are things that are like going to be chronic, lifelong thing. Like, Evan Carter's got a serious back issue that is going to have to be managed, right? And can continuously pop up. Whereas Parker has been a lot more of these kind of like soft tissue things that, yes, can be reoccurring, but like aren't necessarily a structural issue. So, I can make the argument he's not a guy that I'm super interested in because of the injury history, and they've got Max Clark, who's going to be ready super soon, I think, in Detroit. Mm-hmm. But like, I can see the argument in a 12-teamer, draft him, see what happens early in the season, and he's an easy cut.
There's room for both, though. Yeah. I don't think Wenceel Perez has Meadows locked off. If Meadows breaks through and Clark pushes, and let's say Wenceel isn't doing well, like that there's an avenue there for both.
I didn't even realize Wenceel was starting.
I wouldn't let Clark's, fast approach. He hasn't hit AAA yet, but I wouldn't let his fast approach completely take you off of Meadows. And plus, Meadows is pick 421. That's one of your more convincing parts about the Meadows versus Carter situation.
I'm paying
cheap. I'm paying pick 288 for Carter. We're paying pick 421 for Parker Meadows.
I'm writing an article today that is like copycat players. So like, why take this player?
Yes, I love that game.
When I could take this player later, I'm actually going to use that. Like,
if you don't include a Kyle Stowers one, I will.
It's gonna be Stowers and Caissie. It's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same team. Like, it's Perfect. Like I don't even like Caissie. I want to call him Lassie still. I really do.
I know, but that I in there keeps making sure that I don't call him, because I saw Caissie when I used to call him that in my head when he was a prospect because that I kind of sneaks in the middle there.
I know, but now that I've made the mistake, like this is the Keith Colt thing where it's like, to me, Owen Caissie is always going to be Lassie.
Owen Lassie,
baby.
All right, 3 more guys in this tier that we said we go quick on, and we still have the Rabbits.
We got an hour left then, right?
No, because I finally found somebody that I can actually quit, a longtime Sporer player that, like, okay, it ain't happening with Alek Thomas. He is literally free, 521. I think you can call that free in a DC. But
well, you call it free because we only draft 450 players in a 15-team mixed, right? So yeah,
that's why I said
anything after 450 is literally free.
So he is free if you want him, but I don't even want him. And I've been one of the biggest Alek Thomas backers the past several years. He is only 26, but one thing I like to point out too when I do point these ages out, youth doesn't guarantee you upside. If there's no talent to really bet on, Evan Carter has a gobs of talent. So if he can miraculously stay healthy, he's a god. Even if I shut off injuries for Alek Thomas, we still have to overcome his lack of skill that simply hasn't developed. So I'm out. What about you?
I have a perfect comp, right?
Let's hear it.
Okay, who's a prospect that was really known for his defense, but had some really interesting minor league seasons that made us feel like he had massive upside? He's been a fine player, but just never turned into the star that I said he was going to, or other people did. We literally talked about him last episode.
Because I thought it was Christian Pache, but it's definitely not him. It's actually somebody more legitimate.
It's Brandon Marsh.
Oh, it is Brandon Marsh. He is Brandon Marsh. Yeah. He's poor man's Brandon Marsh right now. He hasn't even reached Brandon Marsh heights yet.
No, but I'm saying, like, that's the comp, right? Like, that is the likely outcome, is a really, really good defensive player who's going to continue to play for his defense, but he's kind of just, at best, is a strong side platoon accumulator type, and like, that's not interesting.
Let me come all the way back around then and say is Alek Thomas maybe a good DC pick then?
Sure.
Because he is literally your last pick for 400 plate appearances minimum if he's healthy.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because volume is everything in DCs, folks.
He's going to play on the strong side when he's healthy. Right?
When he's healthy, because, he plays great defense, Alek Thomas does. So, okay, I'm back in at least maybe one of my DCs, maybe tonight's, because it's all being drafted tonight in one fell swoop. We're doing a live DC. Maybe I get him there. But it only has to be your last pick, folks, for Alek Thomas. What about this next guy here? Christopher Morel has loud skills, but he also strikes out a ton. He's actually even freer than Alek Thomas. He's with the Marlins now, in case anyone forgot. Any last hope for Morel?
No.
Okay, good. Let's literally move on. I don't even want to add any more. Jake Fraley rakes daily is a bit of a misnomer because he's never healthy. But when he plays, he is pretty good. He's on the Rays now, strong side platoon. Anything there with our boy Jake Fraley? Well, more mine than yours, but you've not hated him. What do you think about Jake Fraley raking daily?
No.
Or at least 3 times a week? Not even with the Rays?
No.
He was pretty bland last year. I got to be real. 6-4 homers and steals and 217 plate appearances. Even some extrapolation on that, which again is dangerous.
Yeah. I just don't see where the upside lies in a guy like Fraley, especially going back to the Trop. Now, if they were still at Steinbrenner,
oh yeah, the Trop is a good point there.
I would have been like, okay, all right, I could see.
I got some upside for you.
Mm-hmm.
The Trop, I can't counter that. That is a tough park. We're a year removed from 277 and 20 steals, though, in 116 games, 382 plate appearances.
Are the Rays going to let him steal at that point in the lineup?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry for the pause there, because I don't know. That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know. He is free, though, too. Who do you like of the 3 freebies, then?
Of the 3 freebies?
Fraley, Alek Thomas. Actually, the 2, because neither of us want Morel. So Thomas versus Fraley, you're going Thomas?
Yeah, Thomas, yeah.
Just much healthier, even though he himself's had health issues. Okay. Speed demons, and we can actually speed through it. Chandler Simpson's first. He's actually the highest priced guy of the day today. We don't take rabbits this expensive. Moving on. And he's dealing with
there will be drafts where he drops. Like, I got him like 260 something.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, yeah, in your barf.
Yeah.
He's dealing with something right now. Would you take the discount that might bring?
I did. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I guess that was a result of the injury.
Yeah. So
would you? Okay, here's another question.
But he's playing. He's playing today.
More? Would you get more Simpson than the share that you have? If he stays in this
if the price stays there. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So you're open to it. I'm still not. I just don't like these players. Victor Scott the second. My big issue with Simpson is that I don't think he's a good baseball player. Same issue that you have with somebody you said earlier. I can't remember. I think Beck. Victor Scott is, though. And so I think he's a bit different because I think he's just got way more baseball talent. 216 average and a 76 WRC plus wasn't crazy, but 34 steals during that. I'd much rather take Victor Scott than.
You went to Driveline too.
Yeah, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So I'm low key interested in Victor Scott a little. As far as rabbits go, I got a tinge of interest at pick 300.
Do you want like a super small sample size?
Of course.
So last year, his average exit velocity in 300 events was 86 miles per hour. In 7 events so far this year, so super small, in spring training, it's 92.6
It's
miles
a huge jump, though.
43% hard hit percentage. I'm not believing that this is going to be a thing.
I need way more.
Also a 3-degree launch angle. It's actually under 3-degree launch angle.
Goes back to your point about being able to hit hard when you're coming down on it.
Could he have a Sal Frelick type of season where, like, yes, he just hits the ball hard enough to get it out of the infield,
right?
And then you're talking about a guy who goes from what did he hit, like 211 last year or something?
216, yeah.
216 to 260 and steals 50 bases.
Yeah, I think that's on the table. Yeah, it's not the projection, but it's on the table for Victor Scott.
Honestly, I was originally going to just say no, and looking that up is like having me completely in on Victor Scott. I actually love this. Like I kind of wish in that draft where I took Chandler Simpson, I also took Victor Robles as like my handcuff to
He's next, by the way.
Simpson. I kind of wish I took Victor Robles instead.
You mean you wish you took Victor Scott instead of Victor Robles?
Too many.
Yeah,
Victor.
I totally agree. And let's use that as kind of our jump off here with Victor Robles. Like, he's fine, but just take Victor Scott instead.
Well, and they're saying that Robles is going to be on the short side of the platoon.
Isn't that crazy? We talked about that with Joe, didn't we?
Insane, yeah.
So that's very worrisome. Oh, because your boy Luke Raley.
Yeah, because Luke Raley and Canzone.
Yeah.
They're going to give those guys opportunities. And I
agree.
Now, I don't know that he'll stay there because I don't think either of those guys are that good.
And Robles is making some dough. Remember, they signed him after his little stint with them that kind of got him on the radar.
So I do think that Robles will find his way into the lineup regularly, but maybe one of those guys you need to pick up off the wire and not draft.
Now, Robles is 100 picks cheaper than Scott. Does that do anything for you to kind of balance the scales a little bit?
What is Scott's price?
300 and Robles is 400.
Ooh. Yeah, I didn't realize Victor Scott was going that high.
Everyone else saw that he went to drive line too.
Yeah, apparently. No, I'd still go Scott.
I do too, but honestly, there's
Victor Scott's playing time is completely locked. St. Louis
he's
does
an
not
elite
give
defender.
Yeah, St. Louis gives no shits about this season.
No, they want 700 plate appearances from him if he can be healthy all year.
Yeah.
All right, our last one is kind of a broken down rabbit. He can't really stay healthy, but Garrett Mitchell is actually really fast, believe it or not. I know he only has like 23 career steals in 400 plate appearances, but again, if you can get a full season, which he's never come close, his career high in majors is 224 plate appearances. But is there any hope for Garrett Mitchell? Is he somebody you spec on at all? I don't know where you're at with him.
I mean, Garrett Mitchell, like
pick 485. Sorry, want to throw that in real quick.
I mean, so free in a 15-team mix, right? So like, the upside is apparent, and everybody knows that the upside is apparent. This definitely has like a feel of like, and it's actually, I can't even say this. This is like a Temu Grady Sizemore. Like, it's like a Grady Sizemore that never actually happened.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like a failed to launch Sizemore. Yeah,
like, and for those of you who are too young to remember Grady Sizemore had like 1 or 2 seasons in which he was an absolute superstar, and then got hurt, just could not stay healthy the rest of his career, and never did anything again.
He was done.
But it definitely wasn't a skills, like it wasn't like a skills aberration. It was a health thing. Dude could not stay on the field.
5-year period from 05 to 09 where he put up a 126 OPS plus, averaging per 162 27 homers and 27 steals for Grady Sizemore. He was god tier. Him and Curtis were the 2 elite center fielders just running the Central. It was great. And then from that point forward, from 10 to 15, Grady Sizemore only played 1,011 plate appearances.
So like, Mitchell has talent, and like when you're getting a guy in your last round of your draft, like he's playing right now, right? Like he's
healthy right now.
Well, he's not healthy, but he's playing. He had a shoulder issue.
That's fair.
It's like 2 weeks ago.
Never actually healthy.
Yeah. So like, but he's playing. So like, this is a guy that I would not draft him into DC. Do not draft him into DC, right?
Because he could bust and go belly up.
He will just be a dead spot on that 50-man roster at some point, right? But in a fab league, I would take a shot and go, let's find out. Let's if he gets
last
injured,
pick in a main,
last couple picks, in a main, I just because I think the upside's huge, and they clearly like him. They want him to be their center fielder.
Right. They've been trying to make Garrett Mitchell happen the way Gretchen Wieners wanted to make Fetch happen for a while.
And it's not a matter of skills, right? Like, this isn't like, it's interesting because maybe this is an Evan Carter, like, why draft Evan Carter when you can draft Garrett Mitchell?
Oh, it kind of is.
Right?
Damn.
Because, like, as much as, like, we, like, bet on the talent, or people are betting on talent, not me, with Evan Carter, like, I think it's similar talent, and there's no platoon flag, right? Like, there's, like, I think Garrett Mitchell, Garrett Mitchell is, like, if he's healthy, like, you turn off, injuries on MLB The Show, Garrett Mitchell could, like, be really, really good, like 600 plate appearances, with power and speed
I
on a
like him.
really good team. So like, I have been very anti Garrett Mitchell up until this season, but I think now is the time to take the gamble. And if it doesn't work out, it's the easiest drop ever.
Totally agree. The only divergence, and your point is fair about like be careful in the DC, but again, when you're going that late, you're going to have some gambles, right? Not everyone's going to be playing. So
Sure.
I wouldn't even lose.
But you need
there.
to count him into your gambles, right? So
Yes. Oh, he's one of my like 3 gambles.
Yeah. So like I always say, in a 50-round draft and hold, I'll take 5 gambles. That's prospect or injury, right? So if that's who you want to be one of your gambles, fine. But don't
pile too many.
But if you look at the guys who win the DCs and especially the overalls, it's the most boring teams ever.
Yep.
Like these are guys that and what happens is like they go, well, Geraldo Perdomo is at pick 500 and he's going to play. I know it's boring. And then all of a sudden, like I would be shocked if like 80% of the top 25 teams in the DCs last year didn't have, Perdomo, or just players like that all over their lineups.
Right. No, absolutely. I totally agree with you there on Garrett Mitchell and taking that spec and going for those playable guys. I added one last guy here. It's our last guy. We're getting done here. But Austin Martin, former big-time prospect, was the big return in the Jose Barrios deal. Now has the opportunity with the Twins. The Twins are like the Cardinals AL, right? They're going to play all these homegrown guys, and they're just going to set it and forget it and see, kind of see what happens. They lost a bunch of pitching, so they're probably not going to do much. But I think Austin Martin is somebody who, while not penciled into the starting lineup right now, with all their injury issues, I think he could get a lot of burn and be kind of a boring accumulator. I don't think he's got a ton of skill, but he's another free guy that I think has a modicum of interest as a post-hype pedigree guy.
Okay, so I want to first talk about his pedigree. We need to always remember the guys who were drafted in 2020.
Oh yeah.
Were
the poor 2020 class.
Yeah, like those guys were not scouted in the way that other, drafted guys in other years were scouted because of COVID, right? COVID shut down all of baseball. Scouts didn't get to see a lot of these guys the year they were drafted. And so I think he will always be overhyped from a prospect pedigree because of that, right? Because of that 2020 kind of season.
No, that's totally fair.
Being said, I don't think you're wrong, and Royce Lewis is already hurt.
I know, dude. Oh man.
Like
I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I'm so upset. I love Royce.
Yeah, I think that Austin Martin has a pretty decent hit tool, and he can run, right? Like, I don't think there's much else there, but
I agree.
There's like very, very little power.
Good eye though to keep the OBP up.
Yes, that's true.
If the hitting isn't, when he goes in hitting lows, he's still getting on base. Austin Martin is. Stole 11 bases in 50 games.
I love zone contact. So like you look at his zone contacts all throughout the minor leagues, and they're pretty much all 90% and above, which is elite. So like, and like O swings are all below 20%, right? So like he's got a really good eye. He makes really good contact. This could be a Sal Frelick type guy where like, yeah, he doesn't have power necessarily to like be a world beater, but he can get on base and he can steal. So like, and the Twins, for all their trashiness right now, and he doesn't have a role even with that trashiness, they've got a ton of injury history, and Austin Martin can play infield and outfield. So,
and they're low-key old.
Yeah. This is a DC guy that I would, like, what's his ADP right now?
529. It's free.
Yeah,
Take him with your last pick. Like Austin Martin,
Well, that's not free in a DC.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Yeah. But it's late. Yeah. It's very late. 529 when you're talking 50 rounds is
like 36 or something like
dude,
that.
Nice job.
Really?
So math dumb. You nailed it.
Oh, I just totally guessed right there. That wasn't
Absolutely
even me trying to think of the number. Like I was
very
just,
well
like,
done.
Literally.
So yeah, like that's a great time to take somebody like that with Austin Martin. I think he's going to get a bunch of burn there. All right, one last one. I'm not even putting this one on the list. It's only for people that listen all the way to here because this guy goes right after Austin Martin, and I just saw him. Zach Veen apparently he came into camp yoked.
Oh my God, have you seen him? He's going to get popped for roids so fast. Like, there is no way that's natural.
Dude.
It is absolutely, I'm sorry.
Is he going to turn it in before he gets popped? And we're just being funny on that. Is he going to turn it into anything?
Like, no, I'm not even joking right now. Like,
It looks a little
as an addiction expert. And for those who don't know, I am a certified addiction counselor and have been for the last 18 years. There's no way that's natural. Like that is just, he put on 40 pounds of straight muscle. He looks like Tyler O'Neill right now. Like
that's exactly what I was going to compare him to. But also, apparently, according to science, you can't put on 40 pounds of muscle.
I know pure muscle.
Can't. But I learned that from Brett Rooker. But apparently, that Tyler O'Neill comp is perfect. You brought up addiction.
Yeah.
And I want to bring this serious for a moment. He has dealt with addiction. He's found his sobriety. I want to be careful here. But I wonder. Do you know
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So but yes, I've seen this.
He's gotten sober. My question is, did he turn it into a different addiction of like getting yoked?
Maybe. And
if it's natural, it's good though, right? Like channeling it into going to the gym. But if he's just using other drugs,
I don't want to make accusations.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I want to be really, really careful. I don't want to be irresponsible as fuck on that.
Here's the thing. So, for those who don't understand addiction, and I can tell you this from just like my own life, right? I am an obsessive person, and what I have turned my obsession in, being clean and sober for almost 21 years, is for fantasy baseball, right? Like I am obsessed about and
that's what I was trying to suggest there.
Yeah. A lot of people who get clean and sober, they work out. Like that becomes one of their drugs in a way of like not, like, hey, if I'm at the gym, I'm not, getting high or getting drunk. So like, absolutely could this like, I don't want to like, I was joking about like it, that he for sure is on roids or anything like that.
We're not saying any of that. We don't know shit.
But at the same time, like, yeah, like, could this be like he just been in the gym? Now, I want to say, like, just because he's like big and strong, like we see a lot of these big and strong guys, like they can't stay healthy.
Sometimes it's too much too soon.
Yeah,
too right. To
Venus
go
had injury issues all throughout the minor leagues, and like that doesn't always make you a better player because it limits your flexibility, right? Like this is why like they've had guys like Judge and Stanton like go do yoga because like they're so big and massive that
get some flexibility.
You're not flexible, right? So like, could it work out? Like he's free, right? So like,
and he's not on the team yet. Like all those outfielders that we talked about earlier are on the team ahead of Veen. So just maybe put him on your radar. He's on the 40.
List,
watch list guy. He's on the 40. He added a bunch of muscle and weight. Let's see. And he hit 1/468 to start spring, which also put him on people's radar.
Can I just do one more before
Yes, but I wish him the best in his sobriety too.
Yeah, absolutely. I honestly, I didn't know that he was.
That was his big key to getting right this offseason was cutting the alcohol and focusing on the gym. Who's your throw-in that we're not going to put on the list? This is just for people who stuck with us for 2 hours.
And this is perfect like tier for him is the Rabbits. Jacob Young.
Oh, yeah. Great call out. I should have put him in the Rabbits. My fault.
He's going to play every day because he's a really, really good center fielder and he can run. Mm-hmm. In 364 plate appearances last year, he stole 15 bases. In 2024, in 521, he stole 33. Like, there's 30 free steals at the end of your draft. He's not being drafted inside the top 450. I think he's like 550 or something like
579, that. 579,
that sample I've got. So, like he's legitimately free if you need stolen bases at the end of your draft. So yeah,
that's a good call out. Yeah, absolutely. And as far as Rabbits go, my problem with Rabbits is generally their price, like a Chandler Simpson. This is nothing.
So like when you bring up Savant or Fangraphs, is there like if you like, is there a page that automatically like a player page that your browser goes to because you've just looked at that player so many times? Or something like
it's the front page.
So for me,
when I type
on Fangraphs, it's Cedric Mullins. I actually have like my Fangraphs tab that I like
goes to Mullins.
Like I have it set for Mullins.
That's amazing. By the way,
but like for my Savant, it goes to Jacob Young. Like right, like if
so you can check out his sexy speed.
No, like it's just like so. I'm gonna bring it up on the screen right now.
While you're bringing that up, I want to tell a quick story. It's related to what you said about how you always go to Cedric Mullins. Did you hear about the story about how Kyle Farnsworth became the most looked up player for Baseball Reference this year in like Iowa or somewhere?
No.
So you know how they do that map? They show this is the most popular player in each state.
Is it because of the fight thing?
No. It's because, well, a guy theorized, because it was from some sort of small state. A guy theorized that his dad was playing a big role in that because when he clicks Baseball Reference on his phone, it goes to Cal Farnsworth's page in the exact same way that you're talking about. So like, he's registering a hit every day for Cal Farnsworth.
Right now, I just have a blank tab open, right? Mm-hmm. So when I just say Sav and I hit enter, it goes to Jacob.
That's so good, dude. Mine just goes to the front page, but now I want it to go to a player.
Yeah,
I have to start going to a player more often.
Yeah, like it just. I looked up Jacob Jung so much last year because I was so in on him that it just automatically, goes to Jacob Jung. And so I just want to say I am not over Jacob Jung.
I'm not either. I'm glad you brought him up, and it was a big miss for me not put him in the Rabbits, but that's a little bonus for people. Zach Veen and Jacob Jung. There we go. We did the outfield. It only took us 6 parts, but I really want to talk about a lot of these players. There's a lot of interesting players. There's going to be breakouts for me. I'm going to challenge you with one more thing. From the some pop, some speed category, superstar this year. Who's going to pick one to make a superstar season? Someone who's going to be a top 10 rounder next year.
Top 10 rounder?
Mm-hmm. Maybe not. That's a star, not a superstar, but they're going to have a big season and they're going to elevate to the top 10 rounds next year.
Dun, 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 dun.
Evan Carter?
No.
Is it your boy Lyle?
I don't think it even is Lyle necessarily.
Cowser for me.
I think it's Cowser, or it's a guy we didn't even really talk about, which is Daylen
Dominguez.
Beavers.
Oh, Beavers. Yeah, Beavers is interesting.
I could see Dominguez too.
Yeah, if he finds the playing time, right? If Stanton's elbows are in fact, evaporated the way he's talking about,
I think
and they
both
just play Dominguez.
Dominguez and Beavers.
So we'll go Cowser for me. Dominguez will share as a joint, and then Beavers for you as guys.
And Cowser
Josh
for me
Lowe
too.
for Hale.
Right. Cowser for me too.
Like,
honestly,
you're
I
fully
see
in on Cowser.
Like there's certain guys I don't see a path for. Right, like I don't see a path for Fraley. I don't see a path for Beck or Laureano or Moniak, or Bader, or even Collins or Mangum. But like Lyle, like I think there's a path. Cowser's a path. Well, Lau's a path. Friedl is a path. I can't do anything fast. Yeah, like it's just.
Well, Danielle says otherwise, but okay.
Yeah, well,
anyway, we're gonna end the podcast on that. Great talking with you. Outfielders are done. We start starting pitchers next week, y'all, and I guarantee there's gonna be at least 6 episodes, if not 7. I love talking pitchers. Justin, did you find a guest for Sunday yet?
I have not, but I will work on that today.
Excellent. No problem.
I think I may reach out to Smolsky because he was mad we didn't talk about Carlos Narvaez in the catcher.
Oh, he's right. We should have. But also, anytime you talk to Eric is a good time. So good luck with that. We'll be back early next week talking starting pitchers, and then we'll also get part 2 with Joe on Thursday. All right. Take care. Peace.
Take it easy.